he does clap it. I'm trying my best to be, como se dice, merciful. But I just think back to a time. Oh yeah, by the way, my name's Hero. This is Coding with Strangers, and I want to talk about something. Remember, there was a time where Twitter was being accused of being this platform that kind of divulged into censorship and pushing certain political leanings versus another one. And then Elon Musk took over Twitter by force, and he has literally done that same thing. And then he took it a step further and took his own personal money, created a PAC to help enrich and support a certain party. And now there's, of course, stories coming out about how it is a toxic workplace. There are hundreds of, probably thousands of rules being broken daily, laws that need to be addressed, and is being ran very much so like his other companies, that he tends to run into the dirt unless there's some sort of check and balance put in place. For example, all of the satellite and Starlink and all of the space related stuff is heavily regulated by the US government, so he's not allowed to just do whatever he wants. Tesla, he's not allowed to just do whatever he wants with that because of all the regulations with manufacturing and car vehicles. Just years of experience. And before you sit here and say I'm just doing a hit piece on this person, I just want to go over how this is a trend for him. In 2019, during the COVID-19 pandemic, firing people who refused to come into work at his California factories when that California factory had been told to shut down because of the pandemic. We know that he was vehemently against closures during the pandemic as a person who openly posted false information on the internet. But we also know, Twitter has stopped paying Google its cloud bill for prompting a concern about what will happen to the platform. So this is back when he was in charge. When he first was coming on board, he was just not paying his bills, not doing continuing agreements for things that he needed because, he thought he had a better way of handling it. And then it came to light that, he was also simultaneously being sued by 9 other companions who had previous affiliations with Twitter. So he just doesn't run a sound system. There's never been a time where and I said this last week, he had the simple job of just boring holes. He made a company simply to bore holes, dig holes, and even that company failed. That's the most primitive thing you see someone digging a hole at a beach. I don't care how old you are, what gender you are, your political leanings, whatever, you're going to go dig a hole with them. Or at least you would want to. Results be damned. But then we could talk about a few other opportunities before we even go into the article. Say, for example, the consulting companies that he hasn't paid, the rent that he literally hasn't paid for the building that they were using in San Francisco, the building they're using in Atlanta, Colorado, the building that they were using in Washington. Unpaid rent lawsuit right here. San Francisco, Colorado eviction. Electric bills in Oakland, Boston, and Atlanta. More rent cases, consulting firm lawsuits. Twitter offered no reason for the failure of pay. Literally, they gave zero reason for pay. And then remember that Bolsonaro thing in Brazil when Brazil turned off Twitter because Twitter wasn't following rules? Well, when Twitter finally decided to bend and yield to the demands of Brazil, for the first 5 days, Twitter still couldn't be turned back on. And when asked why the Twitter wasn't being allowed in Brazil, it was because they wired the money to the wrong bank. Software vendor lawsuits for not unpaid thing, private jet companies lawsuits, international office renovations, other unpaid bills and lawsuits, more vendors from out of state. This is almost 6 pages worth of just anecdotal points of where he owns a company that he is responsible to. And shout out to the senior reporter who put the information all together in one place, that he's just not paying the bills for. He's just not doing it. So I don't want you to think like for any instinct that this is even political. This is just him. He doesn't believe in paying the bill. And why would you? When there's no consequences for your actions, what's the point? And in large part, that's what he's banking on. He's banking on the person he's supporting to bail him out. Because if Trump wins, who's going to touch Trump? I mean, who's going to touch Elon, right? Who's going to put a hand on him? It's going to be a hard thing to do. So that's why it's super important for us to keep these documents, because when the time comes for him to answer, we want to have a clear and concise record of how he fumbled the bag. And I just want y'all to remember, this all started because we made the absolute mistake at this timeline diversion happened because we made the mistake of giving billionaires and millionaires the idea that being that rich is cool. Being that above it all is cool. Like something to aspire to, because the poorest man thinks they're closely associated to you for just by this parasocial relationship ends when the camera goes off. But there's people who believe that they are held to a higher power standard. They get extra because they like someone. And that's just not how it works. But also, if we're being real, the universe really diverted when Tony Stark told Elon Musk in Iron Man 2 he was a cool dude, right? That's when things really started to go south, in my personal opinion. But that's neither here or there. Let's figure out how he's fumbling the bag today. Workers say they were tricked, threatened as part of Elon Musk's get out and vote effort. American PAC door knockers were flown to Michigan, driven in the back of U-Hauls, and told they have to pay hotel bills unless they meet unrealistic quotas. One was surprised they were working to elect Donald Trump. Man, people are really struggling out there. When you don't even know you're being like bought and sold by someone that you don't even like. Yeesh. In Michigan, canvassers and paid door knockers for the former president contracted by the firm associated with the American PAC have been subjected to poor working conditions, as a number of them have been driven around in the back of the seatless U-Haul vans, according to a video obtained by Wired, and threatened that their lodging at a local motel would not be paid for if they didn't meet canvas quotas. The other door knockers alleged that they didn't even know they were signing up for anything having to do with Musk or Trump. A representative for the Musk and American PAC did not return a request for comment. What did you think you were doing? Well, I'm sitting here trying to figure out why these people didn't know, but they took advantage of people that they know they could take advantage of. They couldn't ask me or you to do this. We would be like, what the fuck? What are we doing? You're flying me to Michigan? How am I getting back? What am I eating? The first thing I would have asked was, what am I eating? This could never work on me. But that's the problem. They take advantage of people that they know it would work on, and that's the problem. The contract these door knockers signed with Blitz Canvassing, okay, so that's the company, which is a subcontractor of Musk American PAC, says that they are expected to maintain 17 to 22% engagement rate during the campaign, which is a high target relative to the number of people who typically open their doors for strangers. A group of out-of-state American PAC canvassers were told during the recent team meeting that if they didn't hit their targets, which the door knockers say were more than 1,000 a week on a total door knocker. Damn. So within 1,000 knocks, is my doing my what's? I think it's 200. What's 20% of 1,000?
20% times 1,000
Ooh, I know my math. 200. So you had to get 200 people to open your door a week? That's diabolical. 1,000 doors. If there's if there's 8 houses on a block, 1,000 divided by 8, that's 800 blocks? Oh my goodness. And we're talking about Michigan, so these aren't city blocks. These are rural suburb blocks. You are walking where everything is a mile away. What's going to happen is they're going to stop paying for these rooms, and the manager told the door knockers in the audio recording obtained by Wired that they are going to end up having to pay for yourself, and you cannot do it with no money. The door knockers also alleged that they were told that they will have to pay for their own flights home. Damn, so they brought you here, but they won't send you here. And, the Blitz canvassing, which had received more than $9 million from American PAC for presidential campaign canvassing as of October 29th, did not immediately reply for requests. They're taking advantage of people who just don't have it. And then also, you got to think about the situation that you're in. If you are answering, are you answering the door for someone who isn't probably representing the campaign the best way? And it just stands to reason, who are they trying to reach? So are they sending these individuals into the more urban areas? That's diabolical. One of the canvassers who was flown from outside of the Midwest tells Wired they had no idea they were would be knocking doors in support of Trump. The subcontractor they were working for was a party of Elon Musk voter turnout operation through American PAC. But yeah, and so this is also them informing us that they weren't informed. They weren't informed of who the American PAC was, and also they didn't have the wherewithal to go search it and stuff. There's only so much I can blame them for, but all you had to do was search American PAC, Elon Musk, and Trump's name shows up. Right? So you had the means to look up this app, this program, but you didn't have the means to look it up, and this is why the knowledge base gap is more dangerous than anything. I knew nothing of the job or much of the job description other than going door to door and asking for voters who are they voting for, say a door knocker who was one of the people in the back of the van and who is requesting anonymity because they signed the non-disclosure agreement. Then after I signed over the NDA, I would have found out we are for Republicans and with Trump. So they're hiding it. Damn. But I'm just online too much. That's crazy. That's super, super shady. But it's Donald Trump. But are we really expecting anything different from these animals? Donald Trump? Nah. The door knockers added that they had overheard from supervisors. A few other mentioned that Elon Musk by name marking the first time they had heard the billionaire ex-owner's involvement. The Trump campaign has largely outsourced its field operation to Michigan to Musk as it moves that is under heavy criticism, and previously reported by the Wire. Blitz canvassing has also reportedly had issues with fake door knockers being flagged by the campaign sidekick and glitchy apps used by American PACs in Nevada, Arizona. Up to a quarter of the door interactions were flagged as potentially fake. Yeah, I remember this story. Basically, they had a bunch of people who said they were knocking on doors, but they were really at restaurants just eating lunch and relaxing and doing whatever they wanted. Beat the system. Make the system work for you. Within the app, according to Guardian, Sidekick was never expected to handle the auditing of American PAC door-to-door operations. The reason the PAC is confident in the number is because their auditing process each canvassing firm put in place and the auditing procedure of the PAC writ large said. A person familiar with the American PAC operation told The Guardian at the time. door knockers for Blitz subcontract didn't have transportation to get around Michigan. Since no one in the group had a valid driver's license, Sunday, October 19th, supervisors for the canvassers initially commandeered some Uber for them to reach their list and address, but by Sunday the door knockers were loaded into rented U-Haul moving vans with no rear seating and or seat belts. In photo and videos viewed by The Wire, we were told our transportation would be handled and we'd be in a rental cars. I turned out to be a U-Haul van. I felt embarrassed and told this is just bad. The video inside of the van shows a bumpy ride with a cage separating the mostly black door knockers from the driver. The driver also told the group of door knockers that he was in pain, had difficulties driving, and just had surgery. Bro. Okay, did you have to add the bro in? You already told us he was black. Relax. The canvassers were dropped off roughly 40 minutes apart from each other and relying on a mobile app to log their interactions as front doors. In a contract agreement reviewed by Wire, door knockers were given specific performance and guidelines along with mandated to keep up with GPS functions of their personal devices turned on during their working hours. Each knock at the door must be done in 15 seconds or less, and the contractor must remain on the property for at least 30 seconds. Campaign Sidekick app used by American PAC servers. Limitation is functionality include a lack of geo-tracking features, hence the requirement that the canvassers leave their GPS services on for their personal devices at all times, according to the contractor reviewed by The Wire, forcing them to use offline walkbooks as functions of the American PAC app that don't offer the support of GPS or real-time uploading capabilities. While this particular group of door knockers was being managed through Blitz canvassing, screenshots shared with Wire show that American PAC is listed in the mobile app they were using to knock on doors. Recommended attire include red polo shirt and khaki pants or jeans and closed-toe shoes. The attire section of the contract reads clothing with graffiti writing or ripped jeans shorts is not allowed. Interesting. There's so much you can say right now, but you pretty much have it all set up what it's going to be. These are people who could easily be taken advantage of, and it's just crazy to think that, like, if Mark Zuckerberg had done something like this, they'd be trying to eat him alive. Like, Elon Musk would literally be trying to fight him, even though he would get his ass whooped. The things that, like, the projection is what we're mad about. The projection. This is something that they cry that the left does over and over and over again, but here they are doing it and doing a shitty job of this. There's definitely a host of violations that as it pertains to probably election laws and working laws. The fact that, it's outsourcing contract and it probably won't be able to get back to Musk is because of all of the hand downs of this. But just the deterioration of the system. Who wants to work for someone who treats their employees like this? And it's always going to be because it's the worst kind of people. And in reality, they're able to do this and get away with it because of the power they have right now. So the best way to rectify the situation is to take them or remove the power that gives them this ability. But a lot of people won't hear that. A lot of people will continue to fawn over this idiot and assume that he's a great person because he made an electric car go vroom vroom. I'm not as easily pleased. The character of people really do matter, and how you treat people who can't touch you really dictates who you are as a person. It really dictates who you are as a person. So I don't know. That's really pretty much it for me. It was just something that I saw that made me think, like, yo, this idiot had the easiest life of all. Like, you just sit there and count your money, but you want it to be the face. You want it to be loved, and you're burning down a village in order to feel the warmth of a hug. You won't get none from me. I'll see you guys on the other side. Can I use dark reader extension? No, it messes with my dyslexia. If there's not a good contrast, then it makes it hard